Hello, my friends, family, esteemed colleagues. So, my friend from Slovenia sent me this little gadget here. It's my mic for telephone, so hopefully sound will be better. We'll see. And the first little chat now using this improvement in my equipment is going to be a talk about hemochromatosis. Now, why hemochromatosis? Because I had quite a few clients having this issue, and it is kind of confusing because there is the same kind of a problem or confusion around not having enough iron in the body as it is about having too much iron. They think when we have a little bit more ferritin in the liver, then okay, we have too much iron in the body. Well, iron is not only positioned in the body, in the liver. We have it in the muscles, red blood cells. 70% of iron is right there. Ferritin usually is more or less 25% of the iron in general. And of course, now, when people have so-called too much iron in the body, well, very often there are no symptoms. Majority of people do not show symptoms, even though they have more ferritin, or they are perfectly okay, or they may have problem with something else, and then they have blood analysis, and then it shows that they have elevated iron. And all of a sudden this becomes a problem. Why is that so? Well, because in general, doctors have no clue why people have chronic health issues. Basically, there is no single disease, so-called chronic disease, that doctors know for sure how it developed and what is the culprit. And I showed you almost every disease. I show you that the symptoms are very similar. And, you know, there is no difference even in case of hemochromatosis. So what are the symptoms? Okay, I will show you the symptoms. I'm going to read you that right there from a site. So this is a common knowledge of every doctor, that hemochromatosis symptoms are joint pain. Well, in which way increased iron level causes pain? There is no mechanism related to it. Okay, belly pain. Which way? Why belly pain? Okay, weakness, loss of energy. Well, loss of energy should be when you don't have enough iron. Okay, so why more iron would cause this? Usually we know you have anemia, you know, low iron, and oxygenation is not done right. So you have to preserve energy, you get tired. So this is more related to anemia, the other spectrum. How does that relate to hemochromatosis? It basically makes no sense. Okay, fatigue, diabetes, in which way? And they list them as a symptoms of hemochromatosis. Loss of sex drive. How does that work? You should have more energy, more oxygen. Impotence, heart failure. Why? bronze or gray skin color. Okay, this could be related to it. Why? Because ferritin and other compounds that contain iron are going to be filling up in a subcutaneous tissue. Just in the case there is really surplus and body cannot control it because it's low on plasma, so it is going to deposit it underneath the skin, and as we wear off the skin, it passively, whatever toxin, whatever surplus is there, will emerge out of the body, will be pushed out as skin is flaking and the new skin growing. It's one of the ways body detoxifies when it is low on plasma and cannot cleanse. So this could be one of the signs. We found one. Okay, the other ones, there's no rhymes and reason. So why do doctors, scientists, slap all these symptoms to this particular health issue? Okay, well, because usually when people come with these problems, and if more ferritin is now found in a body, then automatically these people also have a variety of other problems. So the symptoms are related to the other problems, but they put them all in one basket and say, well, you see, you have this, and ferritin is a little bit higher. Okay, this is the problem. And you have a hemochromatosis, and now we are going to treat you. Now, how can you treat something that you don't understand? Okay, and they say, when do symptoms typically appear? They say, after 40, 50 years of age. Why? Because there are no symptoms of too much iron. Even when you take a hair sample, you can check there also level how much iron is going to be pushed out. But too much iron does not really have symptoms, except skin coloration. My shirt must be having a problem with hemochromatosis. You see, it's bleeding, and it's becoming a little purplish. Okay, my shirt has hemochromatosis. Now, people like this are being always instructed, you should not eat liver, it has too much iron, and you should stick to veggies, don't eat meat, no red meat especially. This is the typical childish reasoning as doctors have to use because they don't understand anything, because they have been misled. I had no clue what was happening when I was working as a vet. So now I know, but I had to step out from a medical field and become a conspiracy theorist to get to the truth. Because as we know, every conspiracy turns out to be true. So what shall we do about it? Doctors create all kind of crazy things. Okay, now, again from science, hemochromatosis is often caused by a change in a gene. Well, yes, genes control where is iron going to be deposited, but you are not going to use chemicals to attack the gene, because gene reacts to the circumstances, to your environment, your body environment. Well, this way you can say, well, but you see, if liver has a lot of iron and I have hemochromatosis, this will, if I eat liver, this is going to be acting on my genes, and there are, no, that's not how it works, because it's all related to vibration. Again, we have to go into quantum field to understand how things work. having enough experience with this, all my clients being on one or the other side of the spectrum, so either being anemic or having hemochromatosis, these are two different sides of the same spectrum, they have normalized or settled the correct level of iron, which actually means iron got deposited correctly where it's supposed to be instead of being pushed in areas where it's not supposed to be. Without any abstinence from liver and meat, or without any supplementation of iron. And simply following Self-Healer's protocol, the problem went away usually within 3 months. Give it 1 or 2 months, up or down, could be much faster, could be a little slower. But the problem resolves. But with resolving this problem, yes, all the other symptoms will be resolved as well. So it must be the iron. No, it's not. All the symptoms, I always check before accepting any label of disease. Just check your symptoms. So all the symptoms, pain in general, but joint pain, belly pain, then weakness or fatigue, okay, so here from these are basically those ones which are typical symptoms of toxic blood. That's it, toxic blood. Now they also punched here diabetes, that it causes diabetes or has something to do with diabetes. A lot of people that have these symptoms I've just mentioned will also have diabetes. They mentioned heart failure. Yeah, a lot of these people will have heart failure. Why? Because they are glucoholics. They're overly acidic, not because they eat meat, but because they eat veggies. Too much sugar, too much glucose. And they are low on blood plasma, which increases their toxic level in the blood and in the tissue and in the cells. And the toxins serve as electrical resistors because electricity is what we call body's energy. So you are low on energy, you are low on electricity. Why? Too many resistors, too many toxic frequencies which are out of tune. They do not harmonize with your body. Your body is perfectly tuned to a scale of a creative energy, and you have brought in frequencies or sounds or instruments that are out of tune. And it right away baffles the whole sound of the body. And more of these out of tune frequencies you have, the more resistance to flow of energy and stronger symptoms, more fatigue, blurred brain, foggy brain, blurred vision, general pain, muscle pain, joint pain, headaches. All this is part of toxicity. Now, why there is iron now in wrong places? It's not that you have too much, because body eliminates surplus, unless it cannot, because there's not enough plasma. So then shoves it in the subcutaneous tissue to slowly eliminate it as the skin flakes, which then changes the color of the tissue. You already have to be in pretty bad shape for this to occur. So this is not so common, but it could happen. Now, why the Self-Healer protocol works? Because it's a guide to correct diet. And now, yes, diet is based on raw animal products. Raw liver, raw meat, raw eggs, raw milk. Now, heating animal products shifts the frequency So it is not really healthy for us. And you right away feel it heavier. When you eat it, your body feels heavier because, again, resistance, it resists. But worse than that is eating plants. Because if you have them raw, they have a lot of toxic elements that they use to protect themselves, so they are not eaten. And when we cook them, some of those toxic elements, we basically transform through heat, changes vibration, and they are no longer toxic, but some don't. Some remain toxic, and we are breaking cellulose and exposing starch, which converts into glucose, and pure sugar of the worst possible kind for our health is being absorbed. Now, again, many are surprised. Isn't fructose the worst sugar? No. Fructose actually does not have any influence on our body other than, since it does not do any harm to the body, liver transmutes it into fat and, yes, produces uric acid. But uric acid, low levels of uric acid, we use them because this is what stimulates our white blood cell to be produced and to be always in our blood, even when we are not being in any danger of any toxin in our body. So just keep the production going, because body is made in such a way that it responds to the environment, and when there is no necessity for something, the body simply ceases to produce it. And we can see this. I mentioned very often bodybuilders, when they are active and exercising, they have huge muscles. When they stop exercising, they lose them. Muscles go away. When I spoke about osteoporosis, I explained this happens with the bones. Necessity will make them stronger and thicker, or thinner and weaker. Body will not support what it does not need, with exception of accumulation of fat. And it will accumulate more fat when we eat carbohydrates than when we eat fat, because, again, body will not store excessive amounts because it slows us down, so it will let them go. But when we eat sugars, the excessive amount of glucose that we eat gets converted into fat, because the body says, well, I'm using a lot of glucose and I should be using fat, so let me have enough fat so I don't need to use this glucose. But since glucose keeps coming, because we are easily persuaded into doing the wrong things, it's much more difficult for us to get the truth. But nonsense, oh, we are very quick to jump on it and support it. So body accumulates way more fat when we are eating starches. Every fat individual is fat, obese, because it eats starches. You are not going to find obese carnivore. A bear in nature can get chunky because it's a different mechanism, because it goes into hibernation. Same happens with whales. But even chunky can climb tree like a squirrel. Bear in captivity, when people give him also bread and pasta, and who knows, potatoes, boiled potatoes, and who knows what he receives besides meat, they also get chunky, but they get sickly. Old bear in the zoo looks like an old human, can barely move around. Bad skin. You will never find bear like this in nature. Impossible. So when we talk about iron and hemochromatosis, most of the time it is not a problem that we have too much iron, but it is not positioned where it is supposed to be. And the symptoms, why there are all the other symptoms usually also present, because for body to do this with iron, it means that the internal environment has shifted. It's poisoned. And genes are reacting. The best the way they can. And again, they don't think about it. It's a program. Every gene vibrates and then stimulates vibration of body mechanisms to which it is related. It's a robot. So if wrong genes are vibrating because they are stimulated by the internal vibration, which is wrong because of the junk, toxic junk that the body has, well, everything goes out of whack. And with it also how body creates hormones, how much, where it deposits them. Then we think, you see, hormones, we have to shift hormones. No, hormone is also just a symptom. The problem came down from the environment, from the body, from vibration of the body, which is horrible. It's completely out of tune, partially because of the wrong diet, partially because of emotions, the wrong emotion, wrong thought. Remember, thoughts represent particular things. So if you think on the wrong things, you may create out of tune frequency, because thought is electromagnetic wave frequencies. And you send them, you broadcast them. They affect your body. They affect your aura. They affect your people around you. They affect the whole universe. Because we transmit universally. And the closest food, the closest it is to your cells, the more impact it is going to have on them. So when you eat the food with the wrong vibration, it comes very close to your genetic system and pushes on it and creates pressure that can shift vibration of your cells. When that happens, then it is being shown to you through your senses that you have a problem with the skin, with the liver, with the kidney, with the muscles, with the joints. It's all just about vibration. We have to understand this correctly. And as soon, you don't have to, supplementation will not help you. Because what you have, you put supplement, you're just making things worse. It's not that when you're in anemia, it's not that you don't have enough iron. It's just in the wrong places. So supplementing it is bogus. Oh, blood transfusion helps. Well, temporarily. But as soon, as the red blood cells age, you're going to go down again. So you have to keep getting always new blood. Ridiculous. Because it is not that you don't have the iron, it's in the wrong place. And if you start eating correctly, and if you start hydrating correctly with water and salt, with plasma, what happens? Body starts eliminating surplus and whatever it does not want. And by eating correctly, you stop poisoning it. And the vibration of the body starts shifting. Body always wants to go back to its original vibration. How does it get there? By increasing cellular voltage. Well, cellular voltage will be low, particularly when you have emotional problems, but also when your cells are highly acidic. And they're acidic because they're dehydrated, and they're dehydrated because they're toxic. And they're toxic because, and dehydrated because they are not absorbing much from the blood, from lymph, because it's toxic. So they don't want to, they close membranes. So it all starts with cleaning the blood. And you clean the blood, well, you don't have to do nothing. You just provided enough plasma. You raise plasma level. You dilute the blood. You cannot dilute blood with pills. When they give you aspirin, and they say, well, this will dilute your blood. Nonsense. This is anticoagulant, nothing more. Your blood stays thick. And then they say, well, but it's a fake because you have polycythemia, you make too many blood cells. Another nonsense. Polycythemia doesn't exist. Your blood is dehydrated, so it's more concentrated. less plasma it has in a cubic centimeter or inch, the more cells will be there to fill the space. It's all about hydration. And I guarantee you that if you follow the protocol, Cell Healer's protocol, that your problem with hemochromatosis and anemia are going to vanish without any supplementation. But contrary to what you have been told, if you have hemochromatosis, so-called, you are told don't eat liver, don't eat red meat, no, keep veggies, green veggies. No, this is one of the reasons you have this crap. On the other side, if you don't have enough iron, so-called, then they tell you, oh, eat the liver. Okay, I'm not very lucky with gadgets, so this microphone all of a sudden stopped making noise and stopped recording. I tried to fix it and it doesn't work, so now it's a little quiet, so I can finish this video without any mic, directly on talking to telephone. So keep in mind that in medical school we are not told truth, so we have no clue about diet, we have no clue about diseases, we have no clue about what actually the symptoms represent. What we are being told is all related to biochemistry, which is heavily manipulated, and nothing really is the way we have been told. So doesn't matter if you have hemochromatosis or anemia, it does not mean that you have either too much or not enough iron in your body, because body will eliminate surplus. But what this means that the iron that you have is in the wrong places, because vibration of your body shifted on many levels, with made array in your genes. Wrong genes are activated. Well, not wrong, they're not wrong. They're activated according to the environment. This is not the environment in the body that should be there, and genes are trying to save the body by responding correctly to the environment. But when you have incorrect environment, then correct response is not really serving you so good. Well, obviously, you don't have these symptoms because you have too much iron. This we have shown already, that symptoms are not related to iron whatsoever, with the exception of one. And the symptoms you have is because your body is toxic, vibrates incorrectly. So of course, many things in the body start going out of whack, and since vibration is what causes your reality, so if your hormone doesn't vibrate correctly, all of a sudden you have even too much or too little of it. It has nothing to do with the organ that makes the hormone, or maybe the organ is not vibrating correctly, and because of it. But usually production of anything depends on what the body is asking for, what the cells are demanding. So you are not producing too much collagen or not enough collagen because you don't eat enough of it or you eat too much of it. Your body is producing it. When you eat correctly, you bring everything what the body needs to produce it. So if overproduces it, usually in certain areas, well, wrong vibration. Same if it is not there where it should be, wrong vibration. So by following Cell Healer's protocol, you are allowing body to readjust correctly, to start vibrating correctly, and all of a sudden, without any supplementation, you do not have any more neither hemochromatosis or anemia. Gone. Everything levels. So, you want to be healthy, avoid doctors. Because we have been schooled by knowledge given to us through Kabbalah that wants us dead. So what do you think he's teaching us? My friends, if you need help or more information, you can go to my site. Every end of my video has link to my site, and you can go on it and check my articles. There are almost 2,000 articles out there. And most likely you will find answer to your question. Then you can email me and schedule a consultation. If you want me to guide you, I'll gladly do it. So there are options. But again, you should never trust anybody blindly. It has to kind of make sense to you. Of course, whatever I say will not resonate with you unless you start awakening. You already have to be on your way to awaken or be awakened, human. And when you hear truth, it immediately resonates with you. You simply know, wow, this is it. So if this doesn't resonate with you, well, it doesn't resonate with many people. Especially more educated you are, which means more indoctrinated with nonsense you are, the less truth will resonate with you. This is why the last individual that will accept what I'm saying is going to be doctor, especially the one with more diplomas, more specialty, more specialized, especially if it's specialized into the part of the science that the topic I'm talking about is addressing. Okay, my friends, thank you for listening. And what can I tell you? God bless us all. Namaste. See you in the next video. Love you all.